We come to our first maiden speech for this afternoon. It is Mr. Darren Paffey.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and can I begin by congratulating you and wish you well as you take the chair. I'd also like to congratulate my right honourable friend as she takes her position as Secretary of State. People in my constituency, parents, teachers, pupils, professionals alike, will be heartened by the vision she set out in her speech for how this Labour government will be building opportunity once again. And as I stand here as a new MP, I have to keep saying it to believe it, I want to thank the people of Southampton Itchen for the incredible privilege that they've given me. This feels, in fact, like a moment heavy with lots of different privileges. One of them is the privilege, of course, to be in here as many of my colleagues make their maiden speeches too, and I want to congratulate them in advance for the excellent maiden speeches we're going to hear this afternoon. Another privilege is to be one of only 3 Darrens ever elected to this place. Since the summoning of the first Parliament over 750 years ago, there had been no MPs called Darren, until, like buses, 3 of us have turned up in the last few years. But the biggest privilege of all is to make my very first speech as Member of Parliament for Southampton Itchen, and particularly in this debate on education and opportunity, because, like my right honourable friend, it is my story. And as a former university lecturer, married to a secondary school teacher, and with children in secondary, primary and preschool, I feel like I have some skin in this game. None of the privileges that I feel at the moment are anyone's birthright. They are privileges for which I and many other people, my team and activists, have worked very hard for. And so they're privileges that I do not take for granted. In addition to being part of this small crack squad of Darrens, I find myself in an equally small cohort of only a few known MPs who have grown up in foster care and been adopted. The public services that we are talking about today, that this government will rebuild, are the services that made me who I am: NHS staff, social workers, inspiring teachers. When I was made Cabinet Member for Children's Services in Southampton, it felt like life had come full circle. And it really did, when just a few weeks ago, Peter, who was the social worker for the first 10 years of my life, got in touch during the campaign to wish me well. It was excellent that he was also a lifelong Labour supporter. But as Cabinet Member, I worked hard to get better support for our care experience young people, because too many don't get the start they deserve, or nor the help that they need. And we must do more to fight for them. And I look forward to working with, amongst others, my honourable friend, the member for Whitehaven and Workington, who's already done excellent work on the need for reviewing social care, and I know that he'll continue to be a great champion for care experienced children. In his gracious speech, His Majesty set out this Labour government's mission to break down barriers to opportunity and to promote children's well-being. The Secretary of State has said that she will help working-class children to defy the odds to succeed, just as she did. And, Madam Deputy Speaker, as one who grew up as a working-class foster kid, I will do everything I can to back that mission, especially for my constituents. And if I achieve just one thing as an MP, though I obviously intend to work very hard and achieve more than just one thing, I hope it's to say to those whose backgrounds look anything like mine, let those challenging times and that stigma that often comes with social care never ever hold you back, but instead forge in you a steely determination to achieve your fullest potential. I wouldn't be here without some measure of that. I certainly wouldn't be here without my wonderful wife, children and siblings who have supported and often tolerated my journey to this place, as well as my parents, who are no longer with us to share this moment, but whom I thank for the values they instilled in me and the opportunities that they provided me with in life. I'd like to pay tribute to my predecessor, Royston Smith. Before he was the MP, Royston was Conservative leader of Southampton City Council. And it was as council leader that Royston paid a visit to HMS Astute when it was in port. A dreadful and fatal gun attack broke out, and Royston showed enormous bravery by tackling and disarming the gunman, preventing further bloodshed. For this, Royston was rightly awarded the George Medal by Her late Majesty. Royston fought in Parliament for those constituents affected by the cladding scandal over the years, and I hope to carry on his important work. And party politics aside, I was touched to receive a very gracious letter from him congratulating me and offering some wise words of advice. I think it's a measure of the man. One of Royston's other accolades was that he was only the second Conservative to beat Labour in Southampton Itchen since the wars. He succeeded, of course, the Right Honourable John Denham, my Labour predecessor, who served our city for 23 years and attained high office in Cabinet. John has been a role model, a mentor and a friend to me since. Turning to my wonderful constituency, we sit on the near-tropical south coast of England. The River Itchen, which gives my constituency its name, has shaped our landscape and our communities since the establishment of Saxon Hamwick and Roman Clausentum. We're a port city and the cruise capital of Northern Europe, but we're also a bustling hub of culture, of commerce, and of maritime heritage. From the medieval Bargate and city walls through to the groundbreaking Ocean Infinity, Starling Bank, and the National Oceanography Centre, Southampton is a place where history and innovation walk hand in hand. We are an outward-looking city. We are the gateway to the world, as we've often been called. The Pilgrim Fathers sailed from Southampton, as did our brave D-Day troops. Spitfires and military ships were manufactured on the shores of the Itchen in Woolston. We have two world-leading and civic-focused universities, and marine and green tech enterprises abound. It's a place where public servants and labourers, stevedores and students, entrepreneurs and artists all contribute to the rich mosaic of daily life here. Our people are resilient. They are diverse. They are welcoming and warm. Our city faces challenges like so many others. Health inequalities, child poverty levels that are far too high. Many compare us to demographically being a northern seat that happens to be in the south. But we're also a microcosm of the broader ambitions of this country and a beacon of the potential still to be unleashed. Indeed, our vision is to be a city of opportunity. We are a Premier League football city, after a short interlude in the Championship. And I congratulate the team for winning promotion in May. And when the Saints went marching into Wembley to win the playoffs, I was proud to be in that number watching their victory. Commiserations to any Leeds fans here. And it was, of course, fantastic to see the now leader of the opposition, a fellow Saints fan, also in that number, cheering on a victory for the red team, something that keeps happening this year. But in closing, Madam Deputy Speaker, I return to my starting point, that it is a phenomenal privilege to be here. Many see this chamber from the outside and think of combative Punch and Judy politics. But as I join these benches, I look over to the plaque of our colleague Jo Cox and recall her words that we are far more united and we have far more in common with each other than things that divide us. And to every constituent, whether they voted for me or not, Jo's inspiring words are the spirit in which I intend to work hard for them, together with colleagues across this House, for as long as I enjoy that privilege to serve. Yeah.
tropical Southampton Itchen. As a previous maritime minister, I got to visit it very often. Sarah Dyke, please.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I welcome her to her place, as I do the Secretary of State and her team. And I'd like to congratulate the Honourable Member for Southampton Itchen for his maiden speech. He joins two other Darrens. I am one of many Sarahs in this place, and until very recently, I think we formed nearly 30% of the Liberal Democrat Party. I'm very, very happy to say